This is an interview for the Veterans History Project. My name is Cameron Taylor, and I'm with Congressman Jim Renacci's office. We are doing this interview with veteran James Funderwhite in Parma, Ohio. So, sir, if I may begin with some biographical questions. When and where were you born?
I was born in Pittsburgh. And my dad died when I was 2, so I ended up in juvenile court, And from there, I was an orphan. So I ended up living in foster homes until I was about 9 or 10, And my grandfather, he called me, and I was living with one farm out of Pennsylvania, and they had really nice people, And he come to me and he says, "Well, your mother died too, I said, "Well," so I couldn't go to the funeral because I was in Pittsburgh. So then my grandfather said he wanted to take me because he had my other brothers there too, So he took them out of the home. And I said, "Well, I'd hate to leave that farm, because the people are good to me." And then, so we put me on a train, they come to Cleveland. I think I was about 9 or 10, And that was good. They said, "What grade are you in?" I said, "I don't know." I never went to school. They said, "Well, looked at me and how big I was. I think you're good for the 5th grade."
And who are your siblings? What are their stories? Did any of them serve in the military?
Yeah. My brother was in the Naval Reserves.
Oh, okay.
And then, so when I got age, he said, "Well, come on, I'll get you in, So them days they didn't know about your age or anything. So I said I was 17. I was only 16.
What was your brother's name?
Bill Funderwhite, William Funderwhite.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what were you doing? When did you enter the service, and what were you doing before you entered in, and how did you end up enlisting?
I ended up, we was on the reserves, and we went on duties, on the Great Lakes. Went up to Wisconsin and all that, just to get used to the ship and that. So, our duties and that. Then we came back, and then pretty soon we got orders to be shipped out, because the war in Germany was getting heavier too, So, they were sinking all them ships and everything. So they decided Roosevelt's going to send us out. So we had a whole division, and all the sailors, we all marched up to the terminal, got on the trains and headed to San Francisco. And that was a good time.
Imagine. When did you enlist? What year?
I enlisted in May in 1940.
Okay.
Yeah. But then we called out next year, in May 1940, to go into the active service.
Okay.
Yeah. That was before the war started, So I had all different kind of duties, because it was on temporary duty waiting for our ship. Our ship was in Oakland, and it was getting done for amphibious work, and they had it put together. It was an old liner, we'd done it, for amphibious work. And then from there, we went back to Hawaii. That was before the war. And we made trips, just for breakdown, make sure the engine and everything was working good.
And at this point, you were in the full Navy, not the Navy Reserve, correct?
What's that?
You were in the Navy, correct, at this point? So you enlisted. You weren't drafted, correct?
I enlisted, yeah.
Okay. Why did you choose the Navy? Was it because of your brother?
Yeah, my brother was in the Army, so he knew a lot of people down there. And I had 3 brothers. My other one was in too.
Oh, okay.
There was Harry Funderwhite too, and he was in the Navy too.
Oh, wow.
So I had 3 of us were in it.
And all 3 of you were in the Navy?
Yeah.
So you said that so you initially were in San Francisco and then you went out to Hawaii.
Yeah.
What was that like?
Oh, we seen when I was up on the bridge, we went on the Liberty, and we could look down in the bay and see the Japanese ships coming in and loading up with steel and all the goodies to take back to Japan. And that was before the war. Nobody said nothing about it, So then later on, we attacked the Pearl Harbor, So that was something too. Yeah.
So did you go to, what was training camp like in the Navy?
Training camp, we didn't go, we just trained, on the reserves we trained,
Okay.
how to do the guns and how to break everything down, And we marched and we did all kind of things, So then when we was called out, we was all ready, So we packed our gear and went in to San Francisco. Then down there I was on Treasure Island, and I lived there for a while. And we had duties there too, And we had to watch the prisoners, and there was a lot of prisoners. And they had a pig farm down there.
On Treasure Island in San Francisco? Is that the island, is that the one that's between the Bay Bridges?
Yeah.
Okay.
And they used to feed the pigs all the food, The pigs were both fat. That was something too. We had a movie theater, and it was very nice down there, They had a PX and everything you could buy something, and that. Then we got Liberty to go up from San Francisco. And I joined the USO. And we had fun there too, And my brothers, he did other jobs. He went to the saloons. He was older,
So do you enjoy your time in San Francisco when you were on Liberty?
Yeah.
Any particularly good memories you had while you were?
Oh, yeah, I got some pictures at home with all the crew, because we all went back together. A lot of the guys were older than me, I was just a youngster. Yeah. But then after that, we loaded the ships up with ammunition and after that, always waiting for our ship to be commissioned, So when we got our ship commissioned, that's when we went to Hawaii and back, just for once in it. And I can't remember too much, But then we went to San Diego to the destroyer base.
Oh, yeah.
And we lived there for a while too. And we went through all kinds of drills, like gas mask drills and rifle range and all that, We were trained to be amphibious.
Okay.
Then we had boats in there. We trained going to mimic landings and all that,
Where would you practice landings at?
Right in San Francisco, no, in San Diego. Yeah. Then we practiced there. Because we had all the boats and that. We had these Hagen boats. And we used to go there and they showed us how to run that. Yeah. And after that, I guess our ship got commissioned. Then we had everything there. And it was good. We had good training.
So you went out to Hawaii several times, you said.
Yeah.
Were you out there when the Pearl Harbor attack happened?
No, I was in San Diego at the time. Then they all called us out. We had to do guard duty on the dock, make sure the Japanese didn't sneak in, And I worked in Tiburon too, and we made submarine nets. And,
Submarine nets?
Yeah, big cables, and we laid them on the ground. Then we dropped them in the bay, so that if any sloops come through, it would stop them. And I lived on the Delta Queen, this paddle ship, and that's where we still lived while we was working there.
And this was in San Francisco?
Yeah. Then I got duty on the tug. I had to get on the tug out there, make sure that the nets were in doing it. Then if the ship comes through, we had to start the tug and open up the gate for them, the men. It was pretty good,
So after you were on the the West Coast. Where did you go from there after you were serving in California?
Then we went after we went to Hawaii, we came back and we loaded troops up. Then we went through the Panama Canal and then come up to Norfolk, you know. Then from there, we got into the big convoy with Eisenhower, yeah. And we went around the Pacific, yeah, Atlantic. And we had a lot of ships, destroyers and battleships and everything there. And when we came in the morning, I think June the 6th, and we had to make landings now. So we had to lower our boats in the nets and get all the troops down, put them in the boats, you know. Then we had to put them to shore. Then going to shore, the German planes were coming down and they were shooting at us with machine guns, you know.
So you landed at Normandy.
Yeah, so I was landing troops, you know. And some of the guys got killed there. And they're floating in the water. It was sure bad, you know. And we got up and I went up on the shore, you know, went through the battle after it's kind of cooled down. And I went up on the shore. And I even went up into the lighthouse. There was a big lighthouse there. And make sure no Germans were in there. Then I came back down and there was an armory there. And we busted into the armory. It was loaded with guns and grenades and everything, you know. And so we had to report that to the soldiers to lock it up, you know. They didn't even take the guns out. They were still brand new. It was all loaded with grease and everything.
So when you, what beach were you on at Normandy?
What's that?
What beach were you on at Normandy? Like what area of Normandy did you land on?
Oh, we went to the southern part.
Oh.
Morocco. And we got the big hill, you know, going up there. And we went up there, and then we came back down. And my coxswain, he came with the boat. We got back in the boat again. And then we sailed her up there. There's a river up there, and we went through the river there. And was looking for the Germans, you know. And we didn't find any. They all took off. So then there was a boat sunk in the bay, you know. And I guess they opened the valves up and sank it, but the whole bow was up, you know. So we went aboard there to make sure everything was good, you know. And the guys, they find the wine cases. So they got that and put it. And they dumped their water out of the canteens, you know. When they had water to drink, and they put all the wine in there. Took it back to the ship. All the guys had a party. That was funny.
That's amazing. And that was during Normandy, during the.
But after we got that done, we went over and we had to unload the airfield. We had a lot of machinery to unload them. Went up to Casablanca, and we had to load a lot of the airfield, you know. They're making that airfield to come in for the planes. So we unloaded all that stuff so they could work on that. Then we had engine trouble, so we had to head back to the States. And our one engine blew, you know, and they had to redo it. So we was up there for a couple of weeks, you know, while they had to redo that turbine and put all new wires in and everything. So we wanted to get a leave because we was close to Cleveland, you know. Oh, you guys can't get a leave. There's a war going on.
So one more thing about Normandy, when you landed there, was there a lot of, was it hard to establish a beachhead there? Or?
Yeah. They had to cross all the barbed wire and that, yeah. They were building it up there, and they would have a big pillbox, and they were starting to put another big gun in there, you know. So I was lucky they didn't finish that, you know. Otherwise they'd probably blow us out of the water, you know. They had a big gun, they built it. Oh, something. Then after that we unloaded, we had to go back to Norfolk, get the repairs. So then we got the repairs, and then we loaded up with troops and headed down through the Panama Canal. Then we had to go down to the South Pacific and take the troops down there to load in.
How long did it take to get to the South Pacific from Norfolk?
From the North Hall, takes about a day or so, I think. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, I was down below, you know, I didn't see too much. I was in these engine rooms.
What
I
were
was
your?
in the boiler room.
Oh, is that what your duties were, to work on the
Yeah,
boilers?
I was in the boiler room and I don't know, I passed out, you know. The heat was so hot. So they took me out and I was in the sick bay for a while, you know. And the chief comes up, he says, well, Jim, he says, I can't put you in the boiler room anymore. I'm going to transfer you to the engine room. It's cooler. You know, changing them, the pipes in the oil. We had to change the tips and everything clean, then light it off, you know. It was a hot job.
What was the name of the ship you were on?
Henry T. Allen,
And what kind of ship?
amphibious troop transport.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, we loaded Marines in, Army guys, everything. Took them down the Pacific, you know.
So, what was the first place you went your ship went in the Pacific when you reached there?
In the Pacific?
Yeah.
I don't know, we went to many islands, you know. I was in the small islands, Marshall Islands, and all of them, yeah. And we ended up down in Australia. And we had to pick up troops there, take them up to New Guinea too. We had officers, all kind of Navy personnel. MacArthur, we had to pick him up. And he made us the flagship. We went up to New Guinea and we was fighting up there. We had troops up there. We went into New Guinea, then we went into Leyte battle too. And we were the flagship for the Coral Sea too.
Oh, wow.
And all that, you know.
So
That was a big battle too.
So you were in New Guinea, and were you at Port Moresby?
Yeah, Port Moresby too.
What was that like?
That was fun. A lot of natives. Port Moresby. Yeah.
And did you get to see MacArthur in person?
Yeah,
What was that like?
that was nice. He was like, come on our ship, you know. We took him in on the landings in New Guinea. And we had to get on. He captured that Wainwright, one admiral, one army guy. The Japs tortured them guys, you know. Yeah. That was bad. Yeah, man, after them two battles, after the Philippines, we came back. Then I had enough days to get out, you know. I had enough points. So they said, well, you want to go back to shipyard? So they gave me a 30-day leave, and I went back to Cleveland.
When you were in the Leyte Gulf, the Battle of Leyte Gulf.
Which one?
Leyte Gulf. Were you in?
Leyte?
Leyte.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
What was the experience of that like?
That's when he took the troops in, you know, landed them. And I was the engineer on the boat, you know.
Oh,
And we have two guys. One's the coxswain, one's the engineer. In case something happens to the motor or something, yeah. Because sometimes you go in and the sand gets back into the filters and you have to change filters and everything, you know. And so to keep the boat running, you know, guys got to get clean water. Then we had a machine gun on there too. You could operate the machine gun too. Yeah. And then the engineer had to operate the machine gun. That was me.
What kind of guns did you take? Like when you were at Normandy, what kind of firearms did you have?
We didn't have any firearms. We just had nothing, you know. We had the machine gun on the boat. You know, that was the only thing we had.
Oh,
Yeah. The Navy wouldn't let us have guns. No, you couldn't have a gun. You couldn't have a camera or nothing. You couldn't take no pictures or anything like that.
What were you when you fought in combat? Did you have a gun at that point? Or?
No. No. Okay. No, none of the Navy guys got a gun. Uh, what a gun, you have to take one up on the battlefield.
So, wow, that's amazing. So you were in the Leyte Gulf. You're in the Philippines as well.
Yeah, in the Philippines. And I got enough points. I went home, so I said, I'm getting tired of the war. So I went home then. My wife, no, my girlfriend was still there. And she didn't get married. I said, well, let's get married. So I went back to San Diego after I had my 30 days leave, you know. Then I said, well, I didn't take her with me because I figured I was going to ship out again, you know. So when I got down there, they said, oh, we're going to catch you on the repair crew. So we had to work on the one aircraft carrier. That one was in a plane, suicide plane went into it, you know. So we had a Japanese plane. So we had to clean that up and get that repaired, you know. So while I was down there, so I was working. Then I called my wife. I said, geez, I'm staying here for a while, you know. So I told her to come on down. She come down, and guess what? I had duty. I couldn't get out the meter.
We're talking about cleaning. I recall you saying earlier, before we did the interview, that you were helped clean up after Pearl Harbor.
Yeah.
What was that experience like?
Oh, that was bad. You had to pick up some of the savers, you know. They were all fully bandaged up and everything, you know, for birds. Then we had to take them back to the States and, yeah. I remember seeing them up on the decks, you know, and they sitting there until we took them back for the hospital. Yeah.
Were you involved in like getting some of the ships back into commission after the?
No, we just picked them up and transported them out. I had duty on another ship, you know, and then it's temporary duty, like, and they take so many people and put them here, you know. So I had duty like that to bring them back, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, the guys were bandages looked like a mummy, you know, they were all burned from that oil, you know, from the oil. Yeah.
So, what kind of friendships and camaraderie did you form while serving, and who were those with?
What was that again?
What kind of friends did you make a lot of friends while you were in the service?
I have a lot of guys that, you know, all friends, sailors and that, you know. I still remember them today. Yeah. I had a nice crew. And when it went so hot down the Pacific, you couldn't sleep downstairs, you know, it was so hot. So I used to have a hammock and I hook up under the gun roof, you know, and I slept there. Yeah. I didn't sleep below. When it came time, my watch, a guy come up, ding, ding, hit me on the butt. Get up, time to go to watch.
Wow. Have you kept in touch with?
Yeah. I think I slept about 2 years in the hammock.
You said that you went to reunions after the war of your ship. What was that like?
Yeah, we went to the reunions. We had an outfit, you know. Everybody paid dues, you know. And all the guys, I know a lot of them there, you know. So we went to Spokane, Washington, you know. Some of the guys were there, you know, and they lived in Spokane, so we all invited in there. And we had bowling, and went and had a good time. Had good fish dinners, salmon. That was good. Yeah. And Mom enjoyed it too, and my wife, though. We both went. So later we were supposed to go to Australia, you know, and my son, a farm came up, you know, he hadn't wanted to buy, and I looked and I said, you better buy this farm. It was a nice farm, you know. So I kind of backed him too, and he got the farm. Then that's when a trip came up for Australia, and then I had to cancel it because of the farm. I was hoping he'd get like this, you know. because everybody was bidding on it, you know. So he outbid the other guy, and he got it. Yeah.
When you were in the service, how did you stay in touch with friends and family back home?
We had female letters that we wrote, and I used to send, you know, I only wrote to my one girlfriend, was after I wrote to her, you know, and she had a lot of guys chasing her, but she waited for me. It was just something that, you know. So I said, well, this is a girl for me. Yeah.
So what did you, when you were off duty, what did you do for recreation and entertainment?
I think I was busy working, trying to make a living, you know. Yeah, I worked at the industrial rayon. My uncle worked there, so he got me a job there. They're making $2 an hour. So I worked there a couple of years, and he was working with sulfuric acid and all that stuff, you know, making the tires, the threads, and spinning on big plates, and put them on trays. And they were selling. And I'd go home, my wife just said, "Gee, you stink." That's where I go with the acid and stuff, you know. Your breath will smell real bad. So she made me quit that job.
Where were you when the war ended in 45?
I was in San Francisco. Yeah.
Were you still in the Navy at that
Yeah.
point? What was that like?
That was nice. I remember when I was on Treasure Island again, you know. And my wife was there too, so we got our place up on the Telegraph Hill, you know. We went to one of the big houses, you know, and we had a room in there. We used to sleep in there, you know, and I'd go up in there. That's where we stayed. Until I was going to get discharged. So then I sent her back home. Then I waited to get discharged, you know. So I had to go till, you know, and get discharged there.
When the war ended, do you remember where you were or what you were doing when you heard that the war was over?
What was that again?
Do you remember like where exactly you were the moment when you heard the war was over?
In San Francisco, everybody was celebrating. People were kissing each other and hugging. They were so happy, you know. Can't remember that.
So when did you leave the Navy? When were you discharged?
Was that in?
When were you discharged?
I discharged in, I think it was September, 46 or 45? 45. Yeah, 45.
What was how were you received by people when you came home? What was the welcome like?
It was really nice. People were so glad to see me. Yeah, they come down, visit me, pick me up. And they come in through the Terminal Tower, you know. And they come there, and everybody took my bags up. It was really nice, you know.
So you took a train in from the West Coast?
Yeah. Yeah. And trains back in them days, you open the windows, you get full suit. Some of the guys were, when we coming back, they was hanging out the window, and USOs would stop and give them coffee and donuts, you know. So this one kid, he met a girl, and he kept writing to that girl. When he came back, he married that girl. It's something.
And he met her on the train journey home?
It's coming through the window, you know. Some things happen, you know.
That's amazing.
And Scarpelli, remember him? Yeah.
Wow. So what did you do after the war? What was the life in the post-war era like?
What's that again? Left doing?
What did you do after the war was over and you left the military?
Oh, I got some odd jobs, you know. And I worked in a clothing factory. That one guy wanted me to be a plumber, you know. Geez, I was in the Navy, you know, and I worked in all this tools and dirt and oil and stuff, you know. I said, I don't want that anymore, you know. So I got into the clothing line, you know. So I was a cleaner, you know. So I learned how to file the cloth out then. You had to cut it out. It was a big knife, you know. And I did that for a while. And I operated on the machinery too. And we used to make markers and stuff to put on the lane, and you had to cut everything out, you know. And I worked there for, I think, about 30-some years. So then the guy that owned the place, he died. And Salzman was his name. And when he died, they sold everything, you know, and said, pick up your tools, go home. So I lost the job. And I had a few other jobs, you know, making less money. And, I got out of it. I said, I couldn't go anymore. So I never applied for unemployment or anything, you know. So I found little jobs, you know, making $7 an hour. Just enough to keep food on the table. Yeah.
And so you had obviously you started a family after the war. Did any of your kids end up going into the military?
No.
And have you been a member of any veterans organizations, American Legion or anything?
Yeah. I belonged to the Foreign Legion, American Foreign Legion, 66, 76.
Oh.
Yeah, Rocky River. Then I joined the Legion too, 610 on Brook Park. I belonged in there too.
How did so what was the best part of your military service in your view? And what was the hardest part?
The hardest part was going to the battle job. That was kind of bad. Yeah. I want to go through that again. Too many people, you know. Yeah. And then the best we had was probably in Australia. Because we had a lot of submarine picking down there.
Where were you in Australia?
I was in Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane, all of them. And I was in New Zealand. And it was all over there.
What was Australia like?
Really nice people there, you know. They treated us so nice. And we knew a lot of the guys that were there too, you know, because of being in the army. You know, the Australian guys.
If there was something that you could have changed or have done differently about it, is there anything you would have done differently about your time in the military if you would have had the opportunity to do it again?
If this calls for it, I'll go, you know. There's a trouble I like to be there. Yeah.
And so how did the wartime experience affect your life?
I'll bring back a lot of bad memories, you know. So, but I try to forget all that, you know. So I was happily married. So she took care of me. Yeah. I had a good life.
Were there some life lessons that you learned from military service that you would like to pass on?
Yeah. Well, just do your best, and that's it, you know. Whatever you can do to help the country. That's about it.
How has your military service impacted your feelings about about war and about the military in general.
What was that?
How has your service impacted the way you feel about war and about the military and the world and things like that?
Well, I guess you can have a good life, you know. Sometimes you get bad jobs and you just got to do it, you know. That's what you bet your life to do, you know. Some guys make it, some don't.
So this project is with the Library of Congress. And what message would you like to leave for future generations of Americans who may see this interview many years from now?
Listen to obey your country and get a good life, you know. Do what you have to do. Because you have one president, you have to go with the guy what he says, you know. With all the corruption going on, you don't know what to believe. All the media and all that, you know. I hate to read the paper sometimes.
Is there anything that maybe we haven't discussed that you would like to add to this interview?
No, that was good.
So one other thing that I wanted to mention was that you were involved in the Honor Flight program.
Yeah.
What was that like? What was your experience with that?
That was beautiful. We went out through the airport, everybody waving at us and shaking hands. They had a good crowd there, knew what was going on. And the ride was kind of bumpy. So we went there and it rained all day. We were trying to get through the rain. And we went through all the Lincoln Memorial and all that, you know, all the Korean War, and the Vietnam War veterans, you know. That was nice too. Yeah, we enjoyed that. And they paid for everything. You know, they had meals and everything. It was nice. And coming back, that's when I had trouble. I was sitting on the plane, next thing I knew was out. I didn't know what to happen. So I passed out and the nurse was taking care of me. So then I got out, they hauled me to a wheelchair. And they said, "You okay?" And then I came out of it. I said, "I'm okay now." He said, "You want to go to the Veterans Hospital?" I said, "No." So I came out of it. Yeah.
Well, it has been an absolute privilege and an honor to have you in today.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for coming in, and thank you so much for your service to this wonderful country.
Taking care of me. Put me on the TV.
It's been a pleasure.